Hi, and welcome to another episode of 30-Second Concerts Behind the Scenes. On today's installment, we learn about costumes and masks. When I'm choosing what to wear for each video, I try to match the clothing to the theme wherever possible. So something like a Fifth of Beethoven is quite easy. You dress up like Beethoven. Other things, perhaps I'll try and match the color. When I did the March from the Love of Three Oranges, everybody was wearing orange. So I'll look at the lyrics or the title or the context of that month's theme, and I'll do my best to match my outfits around that based on what I own. The costumes that appear in 30-second concerts are made up of three things: clothing that myself and my husband already own, pieces that I found at thrift stores, and actual costume pieces. The first costume piece I bought was this ridiculous, very large female blouse sort of thing that I once again went to Party City and got. It's like a pirate wench blouse or something. And the reason, I think I bought it to play Here Comes the Bride. But anyway, one of the reasons I selected it was I thought, oh, well, that will be very flexible. I can use it for all sorts of different things, right? It can be a bride. It can be a pirate wench. It can be, all these sorts of things. And, suddenly you're Carmen or you're Violetta from La Traviata. So I try to get things that will allow me some sort of flexibility in the way that I use them. I own maybe 8 or 10 actual pieces of female clothing, things all of which came from thrift shops, as I said, and bought for specific reasons and sort of general things again, right? General rocker chick, 90s rock chick, that sort of thing. But another thing that I've learned, and this was actually stolen from Randy Rainbow, is pretty much any men's shirt, if you put it on backwards, will look like a women's shirt. This is just a regular, I could fix this up better, but this is a regular men's polo shirt that with a black wig and some necklace suddenly looks like a female blouse. I'm just taking the things that are around here and reimagining them. And I think a good example of that is a bathrobe. I've used a bathrobe as a gown for Scarlett O'Hara in a Gone with the Wind video. And I think most successfully, with the robes put on backwards, the belts used in coordinating colors, different colored robes, perhaps tied across the chest to create a cross piece, or maybe put a white t-shirt on your head and then take a belt and tie that around and suddenly it creates a headdress. So again, it's just looking at what I've got and trying to use it creatively to approximate a costume. Besides the few pieces of women's clothing, the shirts and suits and those things that we own ourselves, I also have a bunch of vests that are great for cowboys, rock stars, that kind of thing. Especially this fur number that I got at a thrift shop with my good dear friend Marie Bowler, who was a great help one day out shopping for some stuff. Lucky enough to own several really great vintage pieces, some again found in thrift shops and others that we just happen to have. This fantastic green number and these that you see back here. I mean, these are just great for disco, rock and roll, you name it. Also a fair number of masks involved in the making of 30-second concerts. are basically 3 different kinds of masks that I use. And I'm not going to lie, playing the recorder or percussion in a mask is not always the easiest thing. So the first category are masks that I purchased, like that dinosaur, the ape that you saw at the opening, this Frankenstein mask. So masks that are mass produced and I purchased that are like that. Then a cheap version, which are paper masks. I have a whole bunch of these Star Wars ones, and those are great. I mean, they're extremely cheap, and they're much easier to play under because you can just slip the instrument under that way. And then the third category would be masks that I made myself. So every once in a while I get an idea and I can't really find what I'm looking for and I don't want to spend a ton of money on a mask. What I will do is I will print up a color image of that face or whatever it is I'm trying to replicate. I will then glue that to a Marley Spoon recipe card that I don't want to keep. They're 8.5 by 11 card stock, so they're perfect. I will then glue that down, as I said, and then trim it like so. I will put 2 pinpricks into somewhere on them that line up with my own eyes so that I can actually just see right through. Like I can just see through that right now. What I used to do was to create these ties and go through all of this elaborate nonsense, but that's way too much finagling around. I discovered at some point that what I could do was I could do all of this and then just tape it to a pair of glasses. One of these you can actually see. Yes, this one. You can see still has the tape on it. That is a Cylon, I believe, from Battlestar Galactica. Those take, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes to throw together, but a very, very cost-effective way to create a mask that is very specific without spending upwards of $40, $50. Along with the costumes and the masks, I have a collection of scarves, bandanas, sarongs, things like that that I can add to those costumes. Sarongs often end up as beachwear. Cowboys get bandanas, etc., etc. There's also some jewelry here, like Mardi Gras beads, right? Like nothing fancy. This is really probably the nicest piece of costume jewelry I own. It's a pearl necklace. And here's an entire drawer full of earrings. That entire drawer of earrings, I assure you, did not cost me anything more than $9. Again, trying to do this economically whenever possible. So there's a look at the process that goes into selecting the costumes and putting them together for 30-second concerts. Once again, I really hope you found this video entertaining or enjoyable, and I really greatly appreciate everybody's support and for tuning into the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, everybody.